back to another episode of Twin Tuesday. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to all of our new subscribers. Please make sure you watch my welcome to my channel video so you have a better understanding of the content that is on this channel and also who I am. So thank you for watching, but let's get straight into it. Today we are talking about the Grkovic twins. I hope I'm saying your names like they're watching, sorry. I hope I'm saying their names correctly. They are Croatian, but I could not find a breakdown of pronunciation so I could say it correctly. So if I'm saying it wrong, please don't take any offense. And if anybody actually knows the right pronunciation, just drop it in the comments below for future reference. Okay. So today we're talking about the Grkovic twins. Now, once again as well, their names, I believe, are meant to be pronounced as Sara and Dana. However, when a lot of the documents and news outlets, they translated it into English, a lot of the English media outlets were referring to them as Sara and Dajana. So I'm not sure if that's what their names were meant to be, but that's what I'm going to refer to them as, Sara and Dajana. Apologies once again if I have got this incorrect. I'll also be reading few notes from my phone because there's a few intricacies to this story that I want to be absolutely correct about and not get wrong for you guys. I mean, that's why they call me Niece with the News, for the actual factuals, honey. Come through with the facts. Okay, let's get into it. So, Dajana and Sara Grkovic have been basically dubbed the Kardashians of Croatia, and this is because of their aspiring modelling careers and I guess influencing careers that they were trying to go after. Now, the incident that we're talking about actually took place in 2015. And it's basically a story of extreme rivalry between the twins that led to one attempting to murder the other. So we're going to get into the breakdown of it all. Let's first start with their childhood, okay? So their mother actually said that Dajana was the dominant twin. And so she was almost like fatherly. That was the way that she described Dajana, and that Dajana would take advantage of Sara, and that was to really satisfy Dajana's own needs. Now, with twins, there does tend to sometimes be a little bit of a power balance. You might find that the more dominant twin to the less dominant twin, and I think that's just with any relationship. You'll always find somebody who might be slightly more domineering than the other, but it doesn't mean that both people in the relationship can't hold their ground. Do you know what I mean? Yes, so that's what the mother described them as. They did have quite a tough childhood. Their father walked out on the family, and eventually that led to divorce between the mum and the father. But the mum really struggled to make ends meet and provide for the family. And anyway, long story short, she ended up moving to Germany to work, leaving the twins in the family flat. It was a small one-bedroom apartment, and they say it's in the poorest part of the city that they were in Croatia. This is at the time in 2015, so of course those figures and information could possibly have changed, but that was the life that they were kind of living. Some of the friends who spoke to media also said that basically the twins really struggled to make money, and any little bit of money that they got, they would spend on trying to make themselves look glamorous. So they were always very well groomed, which was in a high contrast to the area that they were living in and also the home that they had. But as I said, their mum was working in Germany and she would try to send money back to the twins, obviously, to support them, but their dad hasn't been in their lives. Now, both twins really liked taking pictures for Facebook. I think Facebook was what was hot then. Not that Facebook isn't hot now, but you know, I don't know. I think people like Instagram. I'm pretty sure. I feel bad for saying that. People like Facebook, but yes, at this moment in time in the story, they were trying to make it big on Facebook. So basically, the pair would compete to take the most attractive pictures that they would put on their Facebook, and would often be quite jealous of one another and each other's looks, and would express this jealousy to their friends, which was quite baffling for the friends because they were identical twins, and so they looked alike. So it was kind of weird to say, how can you be jealous of somebody that looks like you? It's a bit strange, and I do get that, but as an identical twin myself, although you look the same identically, there may be slight differences in your features, and you might prefer that person's features and the differences in their features than your own. Not so much to be jealous about it, to express it to your friends. Maybe that's just my personal opinion. But clearly in this situation, that was what they felt was best, right? But the friends also, a lot of the friends spoke a lot to the media. So I've got a lot of friends said, locals said, neighbours said. I think it was such an intriguing case that everybody wanted to add their 2 pence. But one of the friends said that basically, in regards to their relationship, they were quite volatile to one another. So they used to get into a lot of arguments, but I'm not sure if this is their first physical argument or if this is the most physical argument they've ever got into. So let's get into what happened. So one Saturday night, the twins had an argument that erupted into a violent row. And this is when the police were called to their home. And they found out that basically Sara plunged a kitchen knife into Dajana, leaving her critically injured and fighting for her life. Sara was obviously arrested at the scene, but Dajana was rushed to the hospital where the medics performed emergency surgery on her. They did get her in a stable condition, but she was in intensive care for a while, for a very long time. Now, this all happened on the Saturday night. On the Tuesday night, so this is a few days after the actual incident took place, Sara appeared in court, in which the judge said that Sara would have to stay in jail for a month, and they set her bail to £10,000. Now, Sara was actually trying to say that it was self-defense and that in fact it was retaliation, as Dajana was trying to suffocate her and strangle her, and that's why she picked up the knife to stop Dajana from strangling her. Now, obviously at this moment it is a little bit like a he said, she said, but what the police did find was that there was bruising all around Sara's neck. So it was very likely that somebody had attempted to strangle her. So this definitely could be a case of self-defense. It's just actually quite upsetting to know that it got so physical that one twin wanted to strangle the other and the other twin had to stab the other. And you're kind of asking, like, why? How would an argument get so far? Apparently, this is all over a man. It's like a vicious love triangle with twins and murder and... okay. Attempted murder, should I say. Sorry, because Dajana did not pass away. But yes, so all of this allegedly was over a boyfriend. Basically, the twins were interested. This is all allegedly, that the twins were interested in the same man. But the guy had decided that he wanted to have settled down with Dajana, and Sara wasn't happy about it. Now, it's not clear if the man had been entertaining them both or that they both had just seen him and a crush on him and he wanted Dajana. But a neighbour basically said that this is why they were arguing, because they were arguing over a guy. So this alleged guy that is being referenced in the reason as to why Sara stabbed Dajana, we don't know anything about him. There is no name, there's no details. All we know is it's a guy, right? But little to no detail is basically known about who this apparent guy was. Now, a lot of the friends basically said that they're surprised that they would be fighting over a guy. They almost said it as if that they didn't believe that was the real reason. One of the friends actually did say that we don't really know if that's the truth, only they know what happened and why they were arguing in the home, because she said that both twins were incredibly attractive and a lot of men were interested in them, so there would be no need for them to both be going after the same guy, which is a fair point. And so the friend then went on to say, which I thought was a little bit strange, that basically the twins love the Kardashians so much that the Kardashians love the Kardashians so much that they would be the only people that the twins would listen to and get this sorted out. Now, I was confused what she meant by that. If she was like, the Kardashians should come to the trial to sort out what's going on between the twins, or like, I was kind of confused by that statement. I still really am confused by the statement. Obviously, we know that the twins were big fans of the Kardashians. Some say that they were obsessed with them and really wanted to emulate the success that the Kardashians had, with them being the Croatian Kardashians. But obviously, this has got in the way. Now, a neighbour basically weighed in and said that although they lived in a small apartment by themselves, she would never see the twins together. She would only see them one at a time. That led her to believe that the twins were leading separate lives. And she said that there was always an element of jealousy between the twins of who was more attractive than the other. Now, I'm not sure as to why the neighbour has that much information or that level of detail, especially since she went on to say that she never knew which one was which, so she didn't really know who she was saying hello to whenever she saw them in the corridor. So it's confusing that she doesn't know who's who, but she knew all these details. So maybe the jealousy that they had was very apparent for anybody to see, or maybe the walls in the house were very thin and she could hear them arguing a lot. Who knows? So Diana remained in intensive care to recover from her wounds. They actually found 2 wounds on her. There was a deep wound in her chest and then another wound on her thigh. They said it was very critical. I'm presuming it was more the chest wound that was a bit more critical, and that's why she had to have an extensive recovery in the intensive care. They didn't tell us how long she was there, but we do know because obviously her injuries were so serious that it was probably for a long time. A year later, Sara's trial begins. So this is in 2016. Now, what's very interesting is the trial basically had a plot twist. Diana actually decided not to testify against Sara. She said in the court, let's get the phone up so we can get the notes and the actual hair. No, she does not want to testify and she will use the grace of not testifying. That, for me, gave an indication of possibly there could be repair between the twins if Diana did not want to testify against Sara and put her twin in prison. But it also speaks to a lot of dysfunction that was clearly in this relationship. Somebody who was called to testify and who definitely spoke was their mum, who actually shed light on what took place that night. And this is where the plot twist comes. I'm reading verbatim what their mum said in court. Obviously, this has been translated from Croatian to English, so hopefully it's as accurate as it should be. But yes, so I'm going to read what the mother said directly in court so that we have the truth here. She said, I have no direct knowledge of the event from January last year. I work in Germany. My father informed me that my daughter Diana had undergone emergency surgery. I immediately left for Croatia and arrived at the hospital, but I could not see her. They told me that she was seriously injured. I fainted. They gave me help. So after that, I went to the police thinking that I would be able to see Sara and bring her clothes. It was only when I saw her the next day that Sara told me that she was sorry, that they had quarrelled over stupidity. So it's interesting there that Sara seems remorseful for stabbing Diana, and clearly it was an issue of stupidity because Sarah's not mentioned a man of any sort, but she said it was stupidity. Now let's get back to the transcripts. So in the actual investigation, they found out that the reason for the confrontation between the twins was not over a guy, but in fact, it started over a petty argument about a laptop. Now, I've had my fair laptop issues, not with my twin, I'm just talking about laptop issues in general, in regards to memory space and updates and etc, etc. I have had moments of intense frustration, but not moments of violence. But it shows you like how if things are tense and you have a volatile relationship with someone, it takes the smallest thing to snowball into something massive. So they were basically preparing for exams and they ended up taking each other's laptops, and this is where a quarrel ensued. So the argument about the laptops started with a verbal argument. Then it escalated into a fist fight. From the fist fight, it then became like wrestling and it was mutual fighting, and that's when Diana strangled Sara. What's interesting here is what we thought along with the story is that Diana was strangling Sara, and Sara then got a knife to get her off. But that's not actually what happened. Basically, Diana strangled Sara. I believe they probably just, tapped out WWE style, stopped wrestling. And then Sara went to the kitchen, picked up the knife and pounced on Diana. And while Diana was laying in her bed in the dark, stabbed Diana. That is like really heavy even to say that, because I think this whole time when I was reading the story and tracking through the story, I thought, okay, this is clearly self-defense, boom, boom, but not that there had been a moment of separation and then stabbing. I don't even mean to give it such emphasis, but So clearly This was just a moment of rage. Now, another one of their friends actually said that once their mother had left for Germany, that things between the twins started to get out of hand and they started acting quite wild. And clearly we can see that it was extremely volatile between them. There's not much news after we get those transcripts of what happened in court. So we don't know if Sara was sentenced, how long she was sentenced to, if Dajana has any long-term injuries, whether the twins are on talking terms or not. We have no clues as to what has happened now. Now, I have scoured the internet. I have been on Croatian websites. I've hit Google Translator. I've looked all over social media and I can't find a trace of the twins to know what exactly they're doing now. I'm hoping with Dajana not testifying against Sara, that was the first step on the bridge of them getting their twinship back in order. However, when something like this turns so violent and also so legal, it is something that I understand is possibly hard to draw back from. Like, it's hard to get back to the place where you were when things have gone this far. It's actually really a shame because apparently the Grkovic twins, they said, were incredibly stunning. People thought they had it all. So it's sad to see that it turned out this way and that there was extreme rivalry between twins and between the sisters. It's actually a weird thing when I experience twins that have that kind of jealousy to one another because they're so alike. But I think that in those cases, they focus more on the differences versus their similarities. So they can't even see how similar they are. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit strange, right? I'm hoping they're okay. We're sending them lots of love. Obviously, Dajana did not die, thank God, because I can't even imagine how Sara would feel if her sister died at the hands of what she did. So I'm glad that nobody passed away and hopefully they're in a much better space now. If anybody has any updates or knows anything what's going on with them, please let us know in the comments below. We are the Twin Tuesday community, so it's nice to stay caught up if anybody else has any other facts about where they are, what's happened now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching another episode of Twin Tuesday. Make sure you like, you comment, and you subscribe. Also, make sure you catch up with me on my social media. It's somewhere around the screen, and it's definitely in the description box below. I'll see you again next Tuesday.